Hi, I'm Deb from Skein Sisters. So I have got the start of the beautiful Mabon Sweater by Elenor Mortensen on at the moment. It's not a pattern that you can get at the moment because I'm actually test knitting it. And I wanted to show you along the way as I'm doing that test knit exactly what the process is. So a couple of weeks ago, Elenor put out a call to say, is anybody interested in making it? Now you don't get paid for it. It's just something that you do because you totally love knitting, which obviously I do. And I love Elenor Mortensen's patterns. So I quickly jumped online and went, yes, please, in her Ravelry group. And I was really lucky enough to get this sweater. I'll show you what it's going to look like. Can you see that, Janine?
Isn't that pretty?
So pretty. You know, lots of colour work. I love that it's got a little bit of colour work down the bottom. So, you know, you often get to that body part and go, oh, it's just plain old stocking stitch. You've got something to look forward to at the end. So what we have to do is you have to just cast on and follow the pattern exactly. Now, I'm one of those people who I assume things sometimes, but you can't do it in a test knit because the point of it is actually to make sure that her pattern is correct. So you have to go through every time you increase, you need to count your stitches and make sure that that number is right on her pattern, that you increase exactly in the same way that she does, and all of those different things. Follow the charts the same way, and really just go through and double check, like an editor really, that the pattern's correct. So you'll see my pattern. I've written a whole lot of stuff all over it. I've ticked things. I've just written little notes that if she added in some extra words, it would make it easier for me, and things like that. And look, she might not actually take on any of that advice, but it gives her a good idea of how people out there in the world read her patterns and what would actually make them easier. So one thing I did say was that the chart she's used, the colours in the chart, are actually really similar in tone to each other. She's kind of matched them to the colour of that sample photo. And at night, I found that really tricky to read. Now, it's probably my 52-year-old eyes, but Janine's shaking her head.
No, it's just, I'm doing another pattern. I'm doing the Art Nouveau.
Art Nouveau, and it's
Art
the
Nouveau,
same.
yeah,
It's the same. It's really tricky. It's kind of like it's the same tone. So there's no light and dark, and I like it when there's one light and one dark, and then the increases and decreases show up really easily as well, whereas I've actually had to go through and really highlight those. So she's been fantastic and said, absolutely, I'll change all of that. And she's going ahead as everybody's test knitting it, and there is one person for each size, at least one person for each size test knitting, and just taking on all of those suggestions. So it's really great if you get a pattern that has been test knitted, because you know it has gone through this process of really being checked and made by other people. To do a test knit, you don't have to be an amazing knitter or anything. Sometimes it's actually better if you are more of an advanced beginner, so that you're looking at it from different eyes. You're not going to be actually assuming anything. You're actually really going to be following that pattern along as it goes, and if you don't understand anything, well, that's when it needs to be made clearer. So if you haven't done one and you're intrigued, just watch out for test knits on Instagram, on Ravelry, and you'll come across some, and yeah, have some fun like this. Now, what do you think? I'm pretty happy.
Beautiful. Let's just have a little look at that colour work.
I am using our Skein Sisters Romance in Karma, which is this one here, and also Hollow Sky, which is the really dark navy, which I have been wanting to use for absolutely ages. So it's fun. It's getting to that point where I've got lots and lots of stitches. It's a bit slower, but yeah, I'll show you again in a few weeks' time.